Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I just wanted to do a quick energy update, and I kind of wanted to just broadcast the space that I'm in energetically, because it's been a little bit of a ride for the past, it's always a ride, but right now specifically I'm about to start going through a new phase in my life, and it's very it can be overwhelming at times, and I'm just trying to make sure that I am processing everything in a healthy way and honoring my emotions, but also continuously being strict with my boundaries, but being consistent with them. But at the same time, it's right now is a big period of working my confidence. So I'm sure that a lot of you can relate to that. Usually when anyone is going through something, it's trickling down and also happening in the collective as well. So specifically in this video, I want to talk about just reaping the blessings from my ancestors, specifically my great-grandmother, Robbie Lucille Cheatham, and I'm sure there were many more before her that made many beautiful sacrifices and did groundwork, which I'm sure that I'm reaping the benefits of that now at this time. So and then also I am going to discuss my mother wound. Okay, a lot of people have different emotional wounds that they are still processing through, and so it could be a father wound, it could be any type of thing. Mine just so happens to be the mother wound, so I'm going to talk about that a little bit. Okay, so first of all, I want to say I have been trying to find somewhere to move for the past, I've actually been looking for a very long time, and so basically I just wasn't finding anything that would fit my family's needs, that was in my budget. And aside from that, the spaces that I did find that were that we did they were a budget stretch for us, but also we applied at a couple places, but we did not get approved because once we moved into our last apartment, we kind of got off track and let our credit take a complete dive and take a hit, which was a learning lesson. My credit was in a pretty good space before we moved into our apartment, but once we moved into our apartment, that was our first rent. So we kind of we couldn't put as much attention on our credit card bills as we needed to, and so it affected our credit. So we did apply to a few places, and unfortunately we did not get approved. So it was really just getting down to the wire. So ultimately this is all tied in with the mother wound. It's actually even triggering me just to even bring it up and talk about it. So I will probably be very surface level with what I discuss here, because also I want to make sure that I don't say anything hurtful to my mother, about my mother, or anything, but like I said, it's a deep wound, it's a trigger, so gotta tread lightly here. Since we were not able to find anywhere, you can see my little brother being his little crazy self in the background. He's so cute though. Since we could not find anything, I ended up asking my mother if we could move into our family's house, which is it's a house that many different members of my family have lived in before, but ultimately my great-grandmother Cheatham, however it happened, I'm not going to get into that, but the house is in her name, it's paid off, it's in our family's name. When she died, she left the house to my grandmother Esther, and she also wrote that in her will that after, you know, it's passed down from my grandmother, it's to go to my mother. So my grandmother's alive, but she's deaf. So, you know, my mom does help handle a lot of her affairs. So, you know, technically it's my grandmother's house. But, you know, my mom does have a lot of say over what happens with the house. So, back to the story, I asked her if we could, you know, stay there. We were going to try to stay there for like 2 months and just fix our credit and then find another space to move into. The trick thing about it is that the house is not in a completed stage. It's like, you know, it doesn't have any appliances. There are just little things here and there as far as like curtain rods. Some of the vents are not in place yet. Some of the like faucets are not there, and like knobs in the shower, different things like that. There are no appliances in the house. So basically the kind of agreement that we have is that, you know, we'll move in and we'll just purchase all of the appliances. Then once we get all the appliances, then we would proceed to pay her, you know, a monthly rent, which is like not that high. She's really like being like looking out with the price that she's given us. So initially we were going to stay there for 2 months to try to move somewhere else, but then I was like, you know what, why don't we just wait until around tax time, you know, like really stack some money, save some money, work on our credit, and like get ourselves into a more stable situation. You know, I'm not going to really speak on that because it's like a plan that I'm just putting my willpower into putting it into motion. So, you know, I want to leave that untouched. But so yeah, that's what happened. So that's how we went from, you know, maybe staying there for 2 months and then you know, going to from 6 months to a year, you know, and then we're going to get all the appliances, and then we're going to help my mom by, you know, paying her. And then when we move out, it should be move-in ready for whoever, like if she's going to move there or if they're going to move another family in there, she will get a rent like that. Okay, so that's the backstory to the situation. This situation is like, my grandmother is definitely covering me. Like, she's really like guiding me right now, and I was wondering why like we couldn't get a space to live. Like, and you know how it is, like when you're trying something, and every little effort that you try doesn't work, that means you're not following the right path. Like, you're not, that's not what it is. The universe has something else in store for you. So, you know, I didn't realize that, but you know, so I asked my mom and she was like, yeah, which was kind of surprising to me because, like I said, there's a deep like mother wound there. There's this like weird dynamic in our relationship. I mean, I understand it, but I don't understand it for the most part, and it's something that's still like unfolding and unraveling at all times. So it's like I don't even want to talk about it. Like, but I figured it out that this was in divine order. Like, this is what is supposed to happen. Like, me and my grandmother were so close when I was a little girl. Like, I was with her 24/7. Like, she taught me my, like, the groundwork of my ethics and my morals. And, you know, when she died, I took it really hard, and I was like, you know, going through all these phases in life, and you know, because she was like the only stability that I ever had in my life. And then, you know, once she was gone, it was just like I didn't really know what to do. So yeah, like, yeah, we were really close. She's like my everything. She still is my everything. Like, I talk to her on a daily basis. Okay, like, I don't play about her. The whole thing about that situation is I kind of got into like my negative mindset yesterday, like really grinding my gears, and I started attracting all these negative things because I was just like overthinking and like just letting all these negative thoughts get to me. My mom can be like, have a really intense control programming, especially over her children and me specifically. You know, I think that she took it really hard, as far as like me stepping into my adulthood and like becoming independent and not really, you know, needing her for anything or like, you know, asking for help. So that is one of the things that was you know, a touchy subject for me, was even like, you know, extending myself to ask her for this. She's a Leo and they have that big ego, the big strong ego, and it's like it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing with this. So that was a touchy situation for me. But so like moving into the house, like I'm kind of like putting my happiness and my peace at risk. You know, there are just certain I'm just like, I'm kind of a neat freak, so, and then there are some people that are just like not on that path whatsoever. Like they're like opposite end of the spectrum, and so, you know, they could possibly like come and live, and like that was something that I was dealing with before. If you've watched my previous videos, that's something that I did talk about that kind of contributed to my postpartum depression. So yeah, so that's one thing that I was worried about. And then it's just a little bit intimidating of like having to get all the appliances and get everything done. So like it's in a the house is in a manner that we can actually live and be comfortable. And you know, I just would have a feeling that, you know, that power over programming would, just for the heck of it, present to me a lot of restrictions of what I can and cannot do in order to kind of put me back in a child's place. And that's just something that is like, I can't. I mean, like many people, I would say like my childhood was like, yeah, it was not a happy or like consistent, or, you know, all the good memories that I do have are from with my great grandmother and my grandmother, and like maybe even like being at other people's houses, like my cousins, and because, you know, I was like, I would stay any and everywhere. So, you know, as a child, because you know, it wasn't that I didn't have a stable home, it was just that my creators were not consistently or stable themselves, so they couldn't provide that for, you know, anyone outside of them, which is like, I understand that. So I've just been through a lot within my family dynamic, so this is like, you know, coming back to reface like any conflict or anything that isn't healed within me. So yeah, darkness coming to the surface, yeah, it's a little bit frightening. So I allowed that darkness to overtake me for one day, and I started to attract all these negative situations within that element. So yesterday I did go, we went there just to drop a couple of boxes off and stuff, and I did want to bring up that when we walked in the door, like as soon as I walked in the door, like there's a window directly like across the way, like it's a whole space, but there's a window, and I just walked in. As soon as I opened the door and I look through the glass, there's a cardinal sitting on the electric line, just staring dead in my face, just like looking at me like, and my heart dropped, because I'm like, you know, the whole time on the way there, I'm like, I'm nervous, like I don't know how I should feel about this. Like I know that this is my grandma that's guiding me this way, that wants me to do this. Like she knows that it's a challenge that I would absolutely be able to accomplish, and you know, this, you know, stepping up to the plate for this would be like directly stepping into her shoes, because this is her house and she ran it like no other. Like she wasn't having no BS. And you know, kind of after she died, it kind of like went, you know, to SHIT. So literally it feels like being in a time machine and like putting her shoes on and like, I love you too, and putting her shoes on and, you know, getting the job done. And that cardinal was just everything. I was like, oh my gosh, like there is my grandma right there. There she is. She's like, yes, all signs are a go. So, you know, I saw the cardinal first, but then later in the days when all those situations started to pop up, and I was just like, you know what, this is too much. This is overwhelming, okay? Like, I can't do this. And it was more of the mother wound that was like disturbing me, becoming an issue for me. Like, just thinking of all the trauma that I've like entailed in the past, and, you know, just that it's still occurring, you know, and I distance myself and I create my own foundation, my own family, so that I don't have to be around that and, you know, witness it, because it's a wound. It's heartbreaking. It hurts my heart. It puts me in pain. So yeah, I just started like panicking. I started panicking. Thank goodness, like my partner is like amazing and like helping to keep me grounded, which is like, I'm also getting to the point where I know that that's not his responsibility to do that, and that you know, I really need to pay attention when he talks with me, so that I can take his mechanisms that he, you know, puts on me and use them for myself, because I can't be like, he can't be the one to, you know, always have to ground me, because, you know, he might not be here one day, and, you know, we are our own responsibility in this lifetime. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. My goal here is to just get in, get out, stay focused, and do what it is that I have to do. Like, I think when I moved out the first time, I was trying to just get out so fast, because I was really like delving deep into a depression, like deeper and deeper and deeper. And I think it took me forever to come out, but you know, we weren't really prepared. We just needed to get out. But I'm glad that we did, because now we have the experience and we know like what being on our own entails. So it's like, you know, we can completely do that now, and I'm so happy. Like, you know, to be independent feels amazing. So, you know, now it's like we're getting a second chance at it, and we can like do it right and be at zero debt and have some money saved up and all these different things. And we know like what it costs to like run a complete household. And this is going to be our experience for you know, getting some experience under our belt for running a whole house and not just a 1-bedroom apartment. So I'm completely, you know, I'm ready to take up this challenge. There are definitely things that I wish I did not have to deal with, but what would life be if we didn't face challenging things directly in the eyes? It would be boring and we would never grow. So yeah, this is also going to give me the opportunity to hold space for others, that you know, and maintain my peace, be the eye of the storm, and also like, you know, put my skills, my emotional well-being skills, and all the different like healthy coping and processing skills that I have, to actually put them to use. Like, be given a real challenge, okay, and show what I'm made of. You know, it's a little frightening. I know that this is me getting in position for my destiny. I already can see the puzzle pieces coming together. If you guys don't know, this is Elon. This is my little baby. She's 6 months. I love her so much. I love both of my babies. But she's a mama's girl. Yeah, so I'm getting I'm already in alignment with my destiny. I can see the bigger picture. But universe is always ready to throw you a curveball. Okay, so, but this is the main thing about my video. Okay, so I prayed to my grandmother in gratitude, because can you just look at how this is unfolding? Like, in a time, okay, so my partner, he would probably, because he's a man, and you know, men, they have their egos, and you know, everyone has ego, but for men, their ego is especially important to them. You know, for us to have to move into my family's house, I feel like maybe he wanted to feel a little bit of shame or a little bit of guilt and stuff, and you know, so I kind of was taking on those feelings like the first day once I found out, but later that day I was able to process it a little bit, and so then the next morning I prayed in gratitude to my grandmother, and just the fact that this is what she worked hard for. This is why she made sure that she had properties to give to her children and grandchildren when she passed away. She has 7 children, and she was able to give each of them a property, and I think each of them more than one property, or at least like some land as well as a property. And so, you know, this is what she did it for. This is why she worked so hard, and this is why she was so powerful, is because she did that so that when she was gone, she did it for her legacy, so that she would still be able to touch and put her hands on her great grandchildren and her great grandchildren. And it's like, this can put me in a position to do the same thing as her. So it's like, it just amazes me that she's gone off the earth and she still has the ability to bless my children, you know, with, you know, we're going to be able to stay in this house and like save money, and it's like really putting me in position with my destiny. And it's just like, that just makes me feel so much gratitude, and like I send her so much love and light. And you know, as I prayed to her, I felt energy like flowing through the crown of my head, and I know that was her. Just, she's telling me like, I receive your gratitude, like I understand, you're gracious, and that's why I did it. I reciprocate this energy to you, and it's just so beautiful. Like, it's so beautiful, and it makes me feel like, if I knew she was powerful before, but at this time, like, I just feel it's maximized to the 10th power. Like, wow, my grandmother is such a powerful woman. She's so powerful, to be able to bless me and she's not here, and to be able to bless my children and they're not here. And in product, I'll be able to get my own space and, you know, have that for my grandchildren, which would still be connected to her laying the groundwork to bless them. So that's why I wanted to name this video Ancestral Blessings, because that's what phase of life I'm in right now. Is I'm like majorly reaping the blessings of my ancestors, of their hard work and their groundwork and their manifestations, and they are directly affecting me and my children at this point in my life. And I just think that's such a beautiful thing. So I want to just dedicate this video to my great grandmother, Robbie Lucille Cheatham, and I love you so much, girl. You know I talk to you every day. Y'all need to connect with your ancestors, because it's important, because they got blessings for you, honey. But if you're not paying them no mind, then they're gonna be like, okay. But yeah, that's it for now. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Like, comment below if you have like any like ancestral stories, like you reaping any blessings from your ancestors at this particular point in time, because that would just be like super cool and amazing. So just let me know down below, and thanks for watching. See you soon.